Good evening and welcome to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen meeting. It's December 5th, 2019. It is 7 p.m. Call this meeting to order. We do have a quorum. The prayer tonight will be with Alderman Church, and I will have the Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone would please stand for the prayer and pledge.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for allowing us to serve you once again. It is December, the birth month of your one and only Son. Watch over us as we lead this community and help us make the right decisions to equally share all the prosperous things that you provide for us. Father, also, we thank you for the blessings that you share with our sister communities, and as you continue to help Laverne grow. In your name, in your Son's name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First order of business is to approve the minutes from the November 7th, 2019 public hearing and regular meeting. Need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion from Vice Mayor Brown. Any second? Second. Second from Alderman Jones. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Departmental reports. First up, Chief Walker.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Aldermen, it's good to see you tonight. This has been a very busy month thus far, beginning actually at the end of last month. But if you'll take a look real quickly, I'll let you look at the information thus far for the month of November. We're up 12.2% over the same month last year. Calendar year to date is up. Drop that back down there. Oh, yeah, so I can see the number. 14.7% for the calendar year to date, but for the fiscal year to date, we're down a little bit, 10.9%. Now, if we continue the same way we're going thus far this calendar year, we'll probably be somewhere around 49,000 or so, a little bit one way or the other, total calls for service. If you've been watching and looking at Laverne Police Department Facebook page, there have been a lot of things that have been going on. We're trying to get them out there. Ann is working very hard to get us to get some things. The problem is we don't have a full-time person, and with Sergeant Bob Hayes and Officer David Vega being our two in-house sort of kind of part-time PIOs. They're still doing their job on second shift and working very hard, so it's difficult sometimes while they're doing those jobs. And then Ann's been there too, but Ann and David this past month went through an FBI LEDA PIO training, and they're scheduled January, is that right, for a master PIO training that they're both going to for law enforcement, for our purposes, because there's some things that are unique, you know, about some of the things we deal with. But we're getting a lot more out there. We're seeing it grow, and we're going to continue to do that. And some of those cases, someone said this morning on Facebook, and I had to bite my tongue and refrain from responding, something about the pursuit yesterday morning about the charges. That was just suspicions. No, they weren't. They committed offenses, criminal offenses, in front of the officer. Those are not suspicions at all whatsoever. The information was there, and warrants were obtained and issued for those crimes that were committed. So, and they were asking, were we going to say where they were convicted or not? No, that's up to the courts. That's not up to us. So we won't be doing that. But we do, one thing I will say, it's like the gentleman we had the other night, that the officers had to fight and then had the illegal weapon, the rifle. He's a convicted felon. He was charged initially with murder, served time for manslaughter, and served, I believe it was 10 years. And he had numerous types of drugs that were on him and in his vehicle. And that was an $8,000 bond. Therein lies part of the problem. He was actually back to the city before the officer got his paperwork done and went home for the end of that shift. But those are some of the things we're dealing with, unfortunately, and that's a sign of our times. And it's something that's gone on every day, but we have not been able to get things out, and we're doing that a little bit more often. Last Saturday, we had our Sonic car hopping for our Christmas for kids and seniors. It rained. It was cool, but we had a really good showing considering what we had, because we had some storms too during that time. We didn't stay the whole 6 hours. We cut it a little under 2 hours before it was supposed to have been over, because it was really storming at that time and pouring down the rain. But we had almost $1,300 that were collected in tips to Laverne Police and Fire. And we had that. Police Department actually had just a minor amount more in our jug than fire had, but that's not important. What's important, we got things for the kids. But we had 1,300 tips, and also the percentage of sales they always give us. They donate 10% of sales for that day. So thank you to Summer and Dallas, and even Debbie and her husband came back and helped, and it was so much fun. And Box 100 actually hauled a couple of trucks load of new toys, clothes, and items for seniors to store for us when we get ready to distribute those things. Dollar General store last Saturday put a box out, and Santa Cop left Sonic and dropped by Dollar General, and there was a picture posted on our Facebook with Miss Marcia, who is the manager there. She took it upon herself, and then she had told me what she was going to do. And we were able to get the message. Santa Cop, he went by and had his picture made with Miss Marcia, but that couple of toys, or 3 or 4 that were there in that one box, 2 boxes are overflowing, and they're stacked all around those 2 boxes now, and the community's really stepped up. A lot of people have stepped up, and it's so nice to see our community together and people who are helping others. We had a lady come by the other day. She's a widow. She's probably about my age, if I was guessing, or fairly close to it. And she's just moved here. She lives on Brookside. And she came in and wanted to know, was there some place she could donate for Christmas and help kids or whatever. So I told her about what we had, and she said, I'd love to. And I said, well, come on in. So I hollered at some of the folks that were there that were FOP members, and she came in, and we got her picture, and she presented $200. She said, my husband and I have always done this, and I'm going to continue. And she's a hospice nurse, so she has her hands full every day dealing with sad things, and she was doing something positive for her new community that she lives in. We also, there were 2 different Christmas cards. One went to Alderman No, and one came to me, and they had keys in it with the information concerning a storage unit in a local, in the city storage unit. And it's a lady that's always given what I would call the widow's mite. And she presented us those keys, and we went to it, and we had pictures, and it's stuff full of brand new toys, clothes, etc. She always starts the day after Christmas, finding things on sale and buying throughout the year, and then brings it to us. And she's been doing that at least since 2013, 2014. Warms your heart. People bringing turkeys, bringing food and things at Thanksgiving, and we appreciate that from the community. Santa Cop and the Grinch have been going at it. You all know that. You've seen that, I hope. There will be more of that coming. We're trying to use it to get our safety messages out, to be honest with you. And we've talked to the Grinch, and the Grinch has said that they're more than willing to be the brunt of our safety messages. And we've had some really nice comments about it. One of them is the 9 p.m. routine. We want everybody to remember, but 9 p.m., we want everybody to be sure they have taken everything out of their vehicles of value, and they've locked the doors, and they've locked the doors to their house and got all the valuables from out front. Even though it might be a package, be sure you've got it and carried it in so the porch pirates won't be grabbing them. And we're using them for that purpose, but you'll see the 9 p.m. routine throughout the year as we go, simply because our thefts from vehicles are continuing, just like they always have. We've had stolen vehicles recently with the keys left in them, and they were unlocked where the vehicles were stolen. We've had items stolen out of vehicles because they weren't locked. Santa Cop will be making a few more appearances. I won't say when or where. He'll pop up when he can. I'm sure he's awful busy this year, this time of year anyway. And then one last thing, we have a new member of our agency, and once she finishes her basic training with her partner, Officer Larry Holliday reported Sunday to Louisiana to begin training with our new canine, Bora. She's a girl dog. She's a Dutch Shepherd. She's small, but she's full of herself and everything else. She is feisty as she can be. Larry sent me a picture Monday night, Tuesday, somewhere in there, that said, I've already fallen in love with her. We're going to make a heck of a team, and I don't doubt that at all. She's a really good canine, and we're excited and looking forward to sometime for around the first part of February. I hope she's back by then, and we can swear her in here sometime, if that's okay with you all, maybe at the workshop or somewhere in there. We'll swear her in officially in here. But that will give us 3. I've talked long over my time. Any questions?
Chief, I have a question. The porch pirates that you brought up, with home delivery being on the rise, what can we tell the citizens to help them secure their packages? What could they do?
One of the things that we had recently, and part of it is when something is being put on a truck and coming towards your house. And we were out of town. And Vicki, well, it was over Thanksgiving, we were out of town, called our next door neighbors, and they watched for it, and they got packages and held on to them till we could get back in town. If you know you're not going to be there and you get a notification on your phone, and you've got someone who can, ask them to go for you. There are some other things going on with those we've seen recently, though, in the media, where they say they've been delivered, but they actually haven't. And there's been some of those things, and that's an inside job, to be honest with you, from people, because there are a lot of subcontractors who are making deliveries now. But the best thing is don't just leave them all day long if you can help it. Have someone go by for you and check, or make other arrangements to pick them up somewhere else, or go to the facility, and just make sure you're there. And if you are at home, check regularly if you're not getting the message. That's about the only thing we can do. And we ask neighbors in the communities, do the neighborhood watch stuff. If you see something, say something. Do not please send us a Facebook message because we can't monitor it 24/7. If something's going on you think needs to be looked at, pick the phone up. If it's an emergency, dial 911. It's 3 little numbers. That's easy to remember. 793-7744 is not as easily remembered, but write it down somewhere and call the non-emergency number. We'll send somebody out there. We get a lot of calls that are nothing by the time we get there. We would rather go in and not be anything than to not get called and it be something. So see something, say something. Pick the phone up and call. Look after your next door neighbors. Look at the others in your community, on your street, etc. Get to know who they are. Go over and shake their hand, say, hey, my name's Mike. My name's Matt. Will you watch my porch for me today if you're going to be here periodically when you're in and out? Take a look at my house and help me out and hang on to it. I'll be here to get it.
That's good advice.
That's the best thing we can do.
All right, thank you.
Chief, 2 things. Number one, I'm looking at your report. Great to see as far as our, at least as of mid-November, crimes against persons, against property, and against society all appear to be down overall.
Yes, and I went on earlier today and tried to get our data out of Tibers, and it's still not been done, but that's because of the holiday last week and then carrying on in. They probably haven't had enough time this week to get everything loaded up and give us the access to our own data there. But as soon as it does, I will send that out to everybody.
And I know
so that you
today's
have
been
it.
kind of busy with tacking.
99 radio check.
99, you're 10-2.
10-4. We are on tacking as of this afternoon. Temporary fix to get us on it, get it started. Lieutenant Campbell lives in Wilson County out in the sticks. He was sitting inside his house with his portable radio keyed up, and it's clear as bail. But that's because instead of just Cane Ridge, we also have Tiger Hill tacking site. We have Middle Tennessee State.
Go ahead, Quan. Radio service just called you.
Hey, I just wanted to say, 10-2, I'm here at, just getting into Mount Juliet.
10-4, thank you, sir. I'm in the city meeting, and they were asking. It's the reason I asked that. Thank you. Appreciate you.
So no more dead spots going to the sheriff's office.
No more dead spots to the sheriff's office. I can carry my portable radio, and it doesn't start bonking when I go over the hill going down to Almaville exit. Once the tower at Smyrna is up and going, which will be probably sometime mid-January before they have that up and going for us. And we also have Tennessee Towers, and in Wilson County, we actually have the Franklin Road tacking tower site up there that we're a part of as well. So we've got really good communications that will be even better within the next 2 to 3 months.
Excellent.
We'll be riding high, let me tell you.
I'm sorry,
Go
did
ahead.
you have
No,
another one?
go ahead.
I have one thing I want you to talk about, because you haven't said anything about it since October. Can you tell everyone why you have the beard?
Why I have the beard. Yes, ma'am, I can. No Shave November. We started No Shave November last year, wasn't it? Yeah, the old guy over there decided, okay, we'll do this. But if you're going to do it, join them, right? That's why I have the beard.
Yes.
$1 a day we pay in November to allow our facial hair to grow for the guys, and the gals get to do other things. Plus, this year we added on 2 days of wearing is it 2 days or 1 day for November? And this month it's all 4. No, 2 days. 2 days this month. We double the 30 that we paid in November to 60. It's paid to our FOP Lodge because that's the 501c3 that we do the Christmas for Kids and Seniors through. And so that's, at the end, I paid mine today, finally got the money to somebody to take it for December. Well, there's a fella in town by the name of Ray Colazzo that made a challenge to me that he would contribute $100 if I would extend it through the 31st of January. So what I told all the folks at the PD, you can keep it, and we'll extend the training uniform to all 4 shifts per week if you have someone to sponsor you. I didn't tell them they had to pay it.
Okay.
If you got somebody who will sponsor you and contribute $100, we'll do that. They said, what about February? I said, no, we're going to shut it off the end of January. I can't stand it any longer. But that's why we're doing it. It's something we do within that helps our kids and seniors
Absolutely.
because we love our community.
It's a great idea.
$100 an officer.
$100 an officer for them to do it in January. Yes, sir. If anybody wants to step up and contribute for a particular officer, or say choose one, or pick a name, or whatever.
I've already been hit up for one officer, so I'm in on part of that, but that was a great idea of Ray's, so I'm glad y'all took it up.
I'll sponsor one in January,
Awesome.
because I love beards.
Awesome. The only thing we ask, if you can, we need it before we finish up the Christmas for kids and seniors.
Okay,
So we need it sometime in December if we can.
no problem.
Pardon me? The female officers get to use wild colored fingernail polish and things of that nature, or some wild coloring in their hair that they're not supposed to do now. And the non-sworn females can wear blue jeans and a sweatshirt or whatever, as long as they're not ragged or torn, et cetera. You know, something that looks halfway decent, but they can be more casual. They don't have to wear the training uniform like this that they normally have with the polos. They can wear whatever they want to, and they can do those kinds of things. And that's about all we can do for them. The sworn females, though, they are allowed to wear their hair down. We normally have them because of a safety issue, officer safety issue. If they want to, they can wear their hair down, unless it becomes an officer safety issue. And then we'll look at it and do whatever. But that's about all we could think of, and we've all tried to. And anybody got any other ideas, let me know. We'll consider it. And Phyllis, I still got my paper in my pocket you gave me Monday. I'll hold that till January, though, tell them.
Chief,
Sir.
thank you, your team, as well as our fire and city staff that participate in all of this to help our community, because that's personal time away from your family, your friends, that y'all are investing in this city and in this community, so thank you.
That's been going on a long time, and there's some good folks in both agencies. We have fun, we have banter back and forth, but there's probably a closer relationship here in Laverne between fire and police as about anywhere I've ever been. There's
Chief,
a
are you
lot of
seeing the
camaraderie.
need, excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt. Are you seeing the need for people being hungry in our community?
Do I see what?
Is the need growing?
Yes, I think part of the problem is we're probably being more educated about it because we have more people who will come and say, hey, this. I'll give you one example. We had one young officer. He's not here anymore. He works for Middle Tennessee Electric. But he called. We were delivering food boxes at Thanksgiving about 4 years ago, I guess it was. He said, I've got this call where the husband cleaned all the checking accounts out, checking savings. There's a mama here with 2 little boys. There's no heat in the house, no electricity. They have basically nothing. Is there anything is it too late to get something to help them? They were taken care of. That's all I'll say. They were taken care of by people who were aware of it. And that's what fills my heart.
That's right. Good job.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Fire Department, Chief Clark.
Well, it's kind of hard to follow a report like that, but fire department, 285 calls in the month of November. Some of the things that I'd like to add is, for every fire that you see listed here, our fire marshal office is deployed out as that fire is going on, and as it cools off, they're already investigating that. Recently, we've had a rash of commercial fires. We've had 2 or 3 semis on fire at the same time in an automobile lot. We've had some entrapments and different things, but wanted to point out that fire marshal's office also deploys as well as those fire trucks during those events. On the back of your report, some of the things that we did a summary on, some other activities, and this is something that I'm wanting to work on as far as you see that our call volume is there, but there's a lot of other things that goes on behind the scenes. And so what I'm trying to do now is have a way to, I have a meeting next week to track our customer service side of it. Whether we go out for pub ed or fire alarm installations, things like that. So I kind of want to give you that big picture, and also the citizens and what services that we do render. One of the big things that I'd like to add to this month, Laverne was very instrumental in locating the missing teen from Murfreesboro that had been missing for 2 years. Our Laverne Police Department, our fire department was there, and they did a great job. Miss Stacy was there. She was the canine liaison for us. We had 14 dogs from all over the state the first day, and we had approximately 5 or 6 SWAT teams, and we had 178 people on the ground. And we were able to put a closure to someone's loss. We've ended up our active threat training for the year. We've sent all of our police departments and all of our fire departments through active threat training this year, and we're very pleased about that and the relationships that we've gained throughout the county. And then several other meetings in here and there. So do y'all have any questions?
No, but I just do want to say that I like the new report.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Codes Department, Mr. Randolph Salyers.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Aldermen, I guess you've noticed in your packet there is no official report from me today. We are in our transition from our traditional way of doing things over to intergov, and we don't have the accumulated historical data that we would like to have on intergov. It will suffice to say that in the month of January, we will have the November, December, and year-end reports to give to you as we begin to start fresh on February meeting with the intergov data and the reports that it will generate and give to you each month. So with that being said, we've also had a little bit of up and down in our department the last couple of days. One of my staff members has lost her father, and she's instrumental in doing this report, so I would just ask if you would please keep her and her Mitchell, Elizabeth, her and her family, Rand, the rest of her extended family in your prayers. Any questions?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Parks and Recreation, Mr. David McGowan.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Board, thank you. You have the parks numbers for the month of November. You can see we finally got our counter fixed, 18,526 visitors through the park. Total visitors at the senior center, 636. Projects, you can see we winterized some water fountains, replaced some bay lights at one of the fire halls, replaced the back parking lot lights at Pee Wee with LEDs. Past events, November the 11th was our Veterans Day ceremony. Upcoming events, December 7th, this Saturday, is our Parade of Lights, Christmas tree lighting. We will have an area designated for canned goods. We will be accepting donations here at City Hall. We encourage everybody that comes out to please bring a canned good. No meetings in the month of December. Any questions?
No, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Decorations look nice, by the way.
Finance Department, Ms. Phyllis Rogers.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Alderman. Tonight's report is for the year-to-date through October. For the general fund, the expenses are still up as compared to the revenues by approximately 3.9 million. For the local sales tax, we've collected 3.1 million, with that being $489,000 better than what we budgeted at this time of the year, and $280,000 better than what we were at this time last year. State street aid, revenues have exceeded expenditures by approximately $48,000. Stormwater revenues have exceeded expenditures by approximately $79,000. And then our water sewer fund revenues have exceeded expenditures by approximately $1.2 million. Second page represents our balances in the various bank accounts. And the third page is a comparison to prior year for the general fund. Revenues are up about $562,000, and expenses are up about $2.3 million. In the water sewer fund, revenues are up about $96,000, and expenses are down about $125,000, and tap fees are also down about $327,000. Any questions?
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on to the Laverne Public Library, Ms. Donna Bebout.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Alderman, good evening. For the month of November, we had 5,092 in attendance with an average of 221. We issued 103 library cards, and there were 1,792 patron computer logins. We had 38 total programs with an attendance of 674. From November 1st until November 27th, we did Food for Fines. This is where any of our patrons who have a small overdue fine or a large overdue fine could come in, bring non-perishable items, and for every item that they bring in, we would waive up to $1 off of their library account. And a lot of people paid off some funds, especially those with several children, that will accumulate pretty quickly. We very happily donated close to 700 items to the Laverne Police Department for the Christmas for Kids and Seniors. So we were real excited about that. A couple of things that went on this month. The Grinch visited the Laverne Library, and as you can see, he and little Ashley Lou Who was there reading a book. It looks like it's the Grinch's favorite book, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. The Grinch has brought a lot of smiles. He really did a lot of great photos in our library that we're looking forward to putting up on Facebook. Okay, it's right around the corner. It's that time of year for the Magic of Santa. This will be happening Saturday, December the 14th at 2 o'clock. Magician Bruce Amato will be there with his wonderful magic show. And at 2:30, we'll be having milk and cookies. And Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus will be there for the children to come up and visit. And Santa is ready. He is ready to see those children this year, and we're ready for them to come out and have a great time at the library. The library board will meet at 5 p.m. on Monday, December the 9th at City Hall. And then just a little bit about our closures. During the month of December, we do close for about 7 to 9 days. As you can see, it will be from December 23rd through January 1st. Within those days are the city holidays, but mixed in with those will be closed to the public, where the staff will be working, but we will be closed to the public in order to do inventory, to do some deep cleaning, and to do some maintenance. This works really well, and we do not usually have any complaints from our patrons. We, of course, if you check something out, it's not due back until after January the 2nd, so you will not incur any more fees. We will resume our regular operating hours on Thursday, January the 2nd. Are there any questions?
A position open with the library board. Can you just kind of share with us and the public what the library board is and how that kind of works?
The library board, the Laverne Public Library Board, is a governing board. So they are responsible for helping with the budget, with helping in the making of policies, and I share with them all of the things that go on during the day, such as daily operating tasks that happen. It's important to have a really good, strong library board because it is a governing board. And we do have one position that's open. We have a great board right now, so we would love to have some applications come in that are willing to come into the library to be a worker bee with us. Our library board works, and we have a great chairman. Alderman Calvin Jones is our chairman, and we have really got into a lot of tasks. So would love to have some applications, and if you have more questions, I'd be happy to answer, or I'm sure our chairman, Calvin Jones, would be happy to answer those.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Water treatment plant, Mr. Greg Purcell.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Alderman. Forgot my paper, I have to use my phone here. So, all right, for water testing and information about your water, you can call the water plant at 615-793-6536 and press option 2. That'll get you to us. We currently have 2 grade 4 certified operators at the plant. We have some more that'll be going at the first of 2020. And currently, several of them are going through a course called Sacramento through Sacramento State University. That's kind of the golden rule for water, all the knowledge and stuff that these other states use and offer the test are out of those books. In November, we treated 110.8 million gallons of water. We delivered 93.2 million gallons of water with an average of 3.7 million gallons per day treated and 3.1 million gallons per day delivered. In November, our TOC removal was 46.1%. Again, the requirement's 15, so we're about a little over 3 times better than the requirement. A few maintenance items that were done in November. All preventative maintenance items were taken care of. This is now tracked in our new software called eMaint. This is an asset Infomark purchased to improve the maintenance tracking at the plant. The cost of this software is built into the base fee for the city. We also installed some motion sensor lights around the admin part of the building to help save on energy cost when we're not in a room. That way the lights are not being used. We have started the next round of backflow testing and continue to move from a paper-only filing system to electronic filing in the C3 software. The software has proven to be extremely valuable for the cross-connection program. In November, we had 3 customer complaints. One was pressure. The other 2 were also pressure and discoloration, but that was due to the water main break. And that's all I have. Any questions?
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Public Works Department, Mr. Garland Russell.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Alderman. This is for the month of November. We had a total of 15 request calls for brush, 517 pickups with 31 loads and 93,000 pounds of brush with 258 workhouse hours. In the fleet department, we had 28 in total, 25 in-house, 3 were outsourced. I think they went to Fort of Murfreesboro. With preventative maintenance was 16, equipment repairs 10. We had 10 work orders for the fire department at 20.5 hours. Any questions?
Just want to make a comment, and maybe I should have said this when the fire department was up there, but I know that you guys have saved this fire department and the city a whole lot of money on the maintenance on some fire apparatus from the responsibilities that you guys have taken over. I want to thank you for that, and if either one of you guys want to speak to that, I would appreciate it.
I think it'd be more Chris, because I think it's around 40.
The other day, I ran some numbers in comparison of prior years. This time last year, we were at 96%. a lot of that contributed to that heavy rescue, trying to get it up to speed and everything. Prior to that, prior to 2017, we were at somewhere around 56%. In the month of October, of this year, we were at 12% of our budget in our vehicle maintenance. And I contribute that to Mr. Garland and Mr. Thomas. So, doing an
Thomas
excellent
goes on to
job.
work on cars. But he has done, him and Philip both been taking classes. I think Napa here gives classes, but they've been going to some of this emergency, vehicle training that they've passed. And I think they have another one in 2020. Goodlettsville Fire Department, I think, puts this on. And I think Thomas went to Alabama for a week, doing some training for pumps that they had to tear a pump down and rebuild it right there. So, he's come a long way. He's good.
It's good to see people invested in their own education and helping out the city while they're at it.
So as I go out and talk to other agencies and everything, so with the relationship that Thomas has built now with several of these other agencies, they ask, hey, how's the fire department? How's Thomas doing? So, they're gaining those relationships. And how we do that is, hey, have you encountered this problem before? So we can take care of it. And they'll call us. So we're sharing that information. Huge asset. He's on top of it. I don't think there's anything that he can't fix, and I'm sure there is, but in my eyes, him and Garland are the
Well, he's got the
top
books
notch.
on it, and then he's got
Yeah.
Google too.
So, done a wonderful
So that's a
job.
lot. But a lot of it he's done, he'll be gone a couple of hours during the day or something, and it's minor stuff that they would have had to wait on the mechanics to come from Dixon here, and, he might not be gone an hour, but,
It's fantastic to see departments working together to help one another like that, and it
No,
saves
we
the
work well
city
together.
money and keeps the trucks in service more, which is really important. So, thanks.
anything else?
Absolutely. Thank you. Utility Department, Mr. Michael Dietz.
Mayor Alderman, good afternoon. For the month of November 2019, the Water Department had a total of 68 work orders. The main line repairs for the month was 1. Service line repairs were 3. Performed 7 cleanups. Our estimated gallons of water not sold was 407,535. Had a total of 38.5 overtime. Meter and leak detection department had a total of 241 work orders. New meter sets were 4. Our meter swaps were 88. Customer requests for meters to be tested and reports to follow were 16. Tested 24 commercial and industrial meters. Miles of pipe walked was 17.45. There was 1 leak found. Answered 268 Tennessee 1 calls and had a total of 7 hours overtime. Sewer Department, 111 work orders. Service calls were 68. Pump stations were 43. Our final grinder pump inspections for the month was 2. Performed 38 manhole inspections and repairs. Rebuilt 7 grinder pumps in-house with a total of 40.5 OT in the Sewer Department. Any questions?
Hey, I have a question on that.
Yes.
The 400,000 gallons of water
Yes.
not sold, that seems really high.
That, again, that's just an estimation on the main player this month of the water loss was the water break. We take in consideration from the time, as I mentioned in the past, from the time we get the call to the time the repair is made. We have a formula, an Excel spreadsheet that we put in. We put all the numbers in.
How many gallons per minute?
Yes, sir, and was talking with Greg actually before the meeting because I felt like we may have been a little conservative on those numbers. However, from his math with the percentage of where the water tank was and how quick it fell, he feels like we're right on point with that number. So that was the main player again this month. However, we did have some flushing, manhole cleaning, sewer lines, pressure washing, hydrant meter, things of those natures, as well as the street sweeper for stormwater is included in this.
In the event of that situation, even on the weekends, it seems like it's working out well with the cost to the water treatment plant to power up, push more water and everything. It's working out well?
Yes, sir, everything's working out great. Again, this situation, I believe, came from dispatch actually, and some customers that noticed it down, flowing down the road. However, water plant did call me personally, hey, is something going on? So the
Right.
communication's there.
They see a usage spike and,
Yes, they said droppage in percentage of the
Okay.
tanks. Yep.
I've got to say, great response on that water main break.
Yes, sir.
The public knew about it, that it was communicated out to them, the response time, that people were commenting they could see you guys out there working, and then how quickly y'all got it resolved. Great job.
Yes, sir, thank you very much. We appreciate that. The guys do a heck of a job. 12-inch main line, 6-foot repair is not fun, and to have it done in 5 hours, we're very excited with what we got right now.
Hey, one other thing. Years ago, the PPE in the winter months for the water department is critical. Are you guys, are you up to speed, or do they have the proper wetsuits and things that they're going to need?
We have not provided wetsuits in some time, and reason being is no one puts them on.
Okay.
We provide muck boots that are warm, gloves, Carhartt jackets, things of those natures.
Gotcha.
We do have waders that are in our room at the shop, so
Okay.
if there was a need, we could put those on. But I want to say that the old ways has changed.
Right,
We
right.
don't jump down in a water hole up to our chest
Yeah,
and try
that's
to make
right.
a repair. So we cut that out several years back.
Okay.
So if somebody's in that type of situation, we have a bigger issue.
Okay. Gotcha.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Stormwater Department, Mr. Adam Leach.
Evening, Mayor, Board. From October 16th, November 15th, we received 2 complaint calls that generated 1 work order. We completed, during that time, we had 2 in progress. We closed 3. The street sweeper only ran about half the time because we've had some staff turnover, so our street sweeper is now a laborer temporarily. Had 3 rain days, and my stormwater inspector performed 298 inspections. Mostly relatively minor work, and this month we've done a little concrete work helping the fire department fix a failed concrete patch inside their building. We do that on our rain days, so that's where we're at.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Human Resources, Ms. Cheryl Lewis-Smith.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Aldermen. Here is the report for November. We had 10 external jobs posted with 144 applicants, 3 resignations. We had 1 workers' compensation claim, 0 liability claims, 58 care here appointments with 0 no-shows, which is good. 425 lives were covered and 5 HRAs were conducted, for a grand total claim amount of $231,848. Are there any questions?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Moving on to the consent agenda. Need a motion to approve or deny?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve from Alderman Jones. Need a second?
Second.
Second from Vice Mayor Brown. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Consent agenda passes. Moving on to new business. First reading ordinance 2019-41, an ordinance to amend Title 20, Chapter 4 of the Laverne Municipal Code regarding public records. Need a motion to approve or deny?
Make a motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve from Vice Mayor Brown. Need a second?
Second.
Second from Alderman Jones. Alderman Church.
No.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Brown.
Aye.
And I vote aye. First reading passes. First reading ordinance 2019-42, an ordinance to amend Title 18, Chapter 3 of the Laverne Municipal Code regarding the sewer use ordinance. Need a motion to approve or deny?
Make a motion we approve.
Have a motion to approve from Alderman Church. Need a second?
Second.
Second from Vice Mayor Brown. Alderman Church.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Brown.
Aye.
Motion passes. First reading ordinance 2019-43, an ordinance to amend Title 8, Chapter 3 of the Laverne Municipal Code regarding beer. Need a motion to approve or deny?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve from Vice Mayor Brown. Need a second?
A second.
Second from Alderman Jones and Church. Alderman Church.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Brown.
Aye.
First reading passes. First reading, ordinance 2019-44. An ordinance to amend Article 4, Section 4.070 of the Laverne zoning ordinance as it pertains to signs. This received a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission on November 26, 2019. I'll make a motion to approve this with the added change of clarifying the date of the election as being Election Day so that we have that clear. Need a second.
I second.
Second from Vice Mayor Brown. Alderman Church.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Brown.
Aye.
First reading passes. Number 8, Resolution 2019-27, a resolution to rescind Resolution 2013-12, entitled "A Resolution to Remove the City of Laverne from the Application of Mandatory Allowance of the Manufacturer of Alcoholic Beverages." Need a motion to approve or deny?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve the rescission. Need a second.
I second for discussion.
Second from Alderman Church.
During the workshop, we discussed this, and you brought up that this would be for something, possibly a brewery. With that said, years ago, the city looked at, a brewery was looking at the city, and there was a water issue, the 80 percentile that it uses from our water treatment plant. So if we were to change this rule and a brewery was to come into our city, is our water treatment plant at this time capable to provide the source without, costing millions in upgrades?
So the company in question has looked at Laverne and already had some conversations about water capacity as well as a specific site, and they feel comfortable coming to the city
But does the city feel comfortable
without any kind of upgrades that the city's paying for.
for future growth? Where are we at right to date with our capacity or on that number?
You mean for water treatment plant? Greg, can you come up here so Mike?
I would say we're about 45 to maybe 48%, maybe 50% of the capacity.
So we're at 50%, and what's the state say, 80% we have to grow?
I believe that's correct, yes, sir.
So we have an estimated 30% as a buffer without any future growth outside the brewery. I was asking that as a question, so. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion to approve this rescission and a second. Alderman Church.
No.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Brown.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Resolution passes. Resolution 2019-28, a resolution to accept the Ridge, Section 1. This received a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission on November 26, 2019. Need a motion to approve or deny?
Make a motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve from Vice Mayor Brown. I'll go ahead and second that. Alderman Church.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Brown.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Moving on to approve or remove board or committee members. Looks like we have one, the Laverne Housing Authority. We have one term expired, and that is Miss Brenda Bryant. She has, we have reached out to her, and she has confirmed she would like to stay on this board. So I will point her back to that board for another term. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Mayor and Alderman comments. Alderman Church.
It is December, and Christmas is right around the corner. I really pray that there's not a family in our city limits or anywhere that goes without this year. If there's people in need, please reach out to our Laverne Fire Department or our Laverne Police Department or anyone on this council. We will be more than happy to guide you in the right direction. And we are all very blessed to be allowed to share the things that we have at a personal level and a professional level. So I just want to make sure that the community knows 2020 is going to be great for the city of Laverne, and I look forward to closing this year on a positive note. Thank you.
Alderman Jones.
I'd just like to add on this few things that the Chief Walker was talking about when asked about the deliveries at home. One of the things I've always done, and I think I've got a friend, one that actually stayed with me, that I can have my stuff delivered at their home. That's one of the things that you might want to take into consideration. Also, if you're expecting anything of great value, I don't accept anything without a signature. I mean, they can say they dropped it off. If I don't sign for it, then I don't. One of the things that are offered is they've got kiosks around the city where you can tell them that you want to pick it up at their location. And they take it back and you go and pick it up and sign for it there. So those are some of the other things that you can bring up. And then the reporting of incidents. I was reading a story the other day. There was an individual who was being, I think it was on one of the news channels, he was being threatened by his neighbor. And instead of calling the police, he put it on Facebook and he was telling them that this guy's threatening him, and the guy came over and killed him. I mean, you know, Facebook is social media. It's a toy, basically. You can't get too serious with this thing. I see a lot of postings where people say their kids are missing, and they show pictures of kids and help find, but nobody says anything about the police, calling the police. If your kid's missing, I'm not going to go get on Facebook and tell people to look for my kid. Call the police. If you see something, say something, if I may use your saying. But you didn't patent it, though, so
It's not mine.
I can't use it because you heard it like I did.
9/11 started that term.
But we all need to be a little bit more cognizant of things like that. And I also would like to see everyone in the city. Let's take this year out with on the plus side. I love the numbers that I was seeing from the police reports. The numbers. I know that the numbers for the fire department were going to skyrocket, and I've seen during my tenure here, I've seen more police chases and people coming into Laverne, you know, than I've seen in quite a while. So, you know, we're growing. Like it or not, our neighbor to the west, they're getting too big. People can't afford to stay up there, so they migrate. I mean, that's one of the things I did myself. So, you know, it's going to get big, but one of the things that I do remember when I first came to Laverne is these people stuck together when we had these little gang and turf wars that were coming into Laverne, and they reported stuff, and we were able to make sure that they didn't come in and take a hold of our neighborhoods and things like that. So let's just watch out for each other. You know, you don't have to like a person to do the right thing. Let's just do the right thing, and because if you think that just because it's somebody that you don't like and you see them, something happen to them, don't think it won't come to you eventually if you allow it to happen. So let's just watch out for each other. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Vice Mayor Brown.
Super excited. It's that time of year where we all celebrate holidays, and all of us have different holidays to celebrate. So no matter what you celebrate, I hope that you have a good time with that and enjoy your friends and family. Also wanted to get everybody to start thinking about what your goals are for 2020. New Year's resolutions are one thing, but setting a goal that you stick with all year long is a whole nother thing. Not just for our community and not just for our departments, but you as a person, who do you want to be next year? I think it's really important to always evaluate that. I try to do it continuously. You'll notice I set a goal and achieve it and then find another one to work on. I encourage you to do that too. It just makes you feel good. It's good for the community. It's good for your families. It's good for you as a human. So I just want to encourage everybody to think about what their future wants to look like. Thank you and happy holidays.
Thank you. Well, I want to remind everyone about this Saturday being the Parade of Lights. My understanding is that both Mr. and Mrs. Claus will be with us. The Laverne Grinch will be with us. Santa Cop may be with us. But it should be a fun time. We're going to have the Corliers here from Laverne High School. Laverne Marching Band will be in the parade. And then there will be fireworks as well. So it should definitely be a fun time here. Remind everyone, December 14th, 8 a.m., here at the Multipurpose Building will be Breakfast with Santa, and Box 100's doing that. It's always a fun time. And then, of course, later that day, Mr. and Mrs. Claus will be up at the library with the Magic of Santa. Kind of piggybacking what Chief Walker and Alderman Jones have both said is, on top of watching out for your packages, also after Christmas, you know, we get all these different gifts, whether it's TVs, whether it's big packages. People see those big boxes. So definitely be on the lookout to make sure you're not just setting those out, setting yourself as a target for break-ins. And I think over the last couple weeks with all the news articles, pretty much people are seeing that if you're going to commit a crime in Laverne, we're going to come after you and we're going to get you. And that's a testament to our police force. There have been quite a few incidents where we've had some of our neighboring areas crime that Laverne officers were able to catch. So hats off to you, sir, and your team.
Not me,
So.
it's those good folks out there working hard every single shift.
Leadership inspires them, though, and that is
Not all the
you.
time. They love their jobs.
And then last, I want to remind everyone, I know it's been a while since we've talked about this, but texting and driving, using your phone while driving, that's very much illegal. We've got school still going on, so please make sure you've got either a hands-free device or you've just got your phone put away whenever you're driving. With that said, I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. Hope you all have a wonderful time with your family. Call this meeting adjourned.